Welcome to the practical component for Geoc 311 on the Potchefstroom campus. As discussed in class, we will be using videos to teach this component. The idea behind it is that you can go through the videos on your own time and you can practice the skills shown in the videos on your own time. You can either do this at home on your own computer, or you can do it in a computer lab on campus. So the first thing that we need to look at is the software that you will be using in this practical component, and we will be using Esri's ArcMap software. The software is available to you to install on your own computer. DVDs will be made available that you can use for the installation process. But as mentioned, the software is also available on most of the computer labs on the campus. So you can go to one of those computer labs as well and use the software there. To open the software, we navigate to our computer and we look for Esri's ArcMap. So it's called ArcGIS. That's the full name of the software, and the one we will be using is ArcMap 10.6. So it might be 10.6.0 for some of you, or 10.6.1, doesn't really matter, it's very similar. So you just click on it and it will open the software. While we're waiting for it to load, I should just say the installation process is explained in PDF documents that I've uploaded to Funde as well. Okay, so you need to use those PDF documents to install the software. It's been a while since I've installed it myself, but those PDF documents should guide you through the process of installing the software. Alright, it's now open. So the first window that you will see is this getting started window. For now you can just say cancel here. This is what you use if you want to open an existing document that you're working on. I'm just going to minimize so that you can see the full window here. And this is basically the this is basically the ArcGIS ArcMap environment. I'm just quickly going to take you over the environment that you can see the important functions that you need to be aware of. Please note that when you start it up, it might not look exactly the same as mine. That's because all the toolbars can be customized and moved around. So first off, it's a software similar to most other softwares that you've used before. So file is where you will save your document that you're working with, open an existing one that you want to work with. So that happens in file. In terms of the different windows that you see here, first off we have a table of contents. Table of contents will be where all the data that you're going to be using will be visible to you. Okay, so remember, this is a software that we're going to use to add spatial data, so map-like data that we'll be adding here, and we will be analyzing them and creating maps and doing all sort of things with the data. So the data that you currently using in your session will be shown here and listed here, and actual data will be displayed here. Okay, but you'll see that just now. Then at this stage we've got a search function open here. Okay, so I'm just going to unpin it. Here on the right hand side you will see a number of tabs, results, Arc Toolbox. If you hover over it, it should open that toolbox to you. It sometimes just takes a while to load, but we've got results, we've got Arc Toolbox and Arc Catalog and search. So as we progress through this component, we'll start using some of these toolboxes. They are very important. This is where we get our analytical functions that we need to use. Okay, so be aware of Arc Toolbox. If it's not there, we need to go to Due Processing and just click Arc Toolbox there, and it will then open. Search for tools is just the easy way to search for tools in these toolboxes. If you know what you're looking for, you can click on search and you can type it in and you will find it. For instance, I want to clip something. See, they're already loaded. I want to clip something, so I can type clip in there and I can click on search and it will find the relevant tool for me. Whereas in Arc Toolbox I have to go to see, I never use it this way, so I'll quickly have to see where it is here. Under extract, there's the clip tool. Okay, so it's just two different ways of finding the relevant tools. Arc Catalog is basically a database management system where you can store data and retrieve data from. Okay, but we will be dealing with that in later exercises as well. I'm just going to close that for now. Alright, important other buttons will be your zoom in and zoom out buttons that we'll use to zoom in and zoom out data, the pan button to move data around in your display window, the zoom to full extent to zoom out to the full extent of all the data that you have on your display, the information button, identifier actually, that you can use to click on features to see what they are, and then very important, the add data button. Okay, so this is the button that we will be using to add data to ArcMap. So let's start there. I'm going to click on add data, and what I now want to do is I want to add some data to my map display. Okay, so the way in which you should do this is you first need to link your folder with your data to ArcMap. Okay, so to do that we need to click on connect to folder. So that's that little folder with the plus. So I click on that, and then it opens this connect to folder window, and I use this to navigate to the folder where my data is stored. So on Efundi you will have a tutorial 1 zip file which you can download. So you download that zip file, you unzip it, and then in that zip file that's on, well, that unzipped folder, you will find the data that I'm going to use now. So what I want to do is I want to navigate to that folder. Still on the little module code here. So practicals, and I have practical 1, and there I've unzipped my tutorial data for this first practical to that tutorial data folder. I'm just going to click on it, and I'm going to say OK. So you click on the folder that you want to access, click OK, and there you can see it now in the add data window. So I double click it, and here I can see I've got 4 more folders. The one I'm currently working on is data 1.1. I just split them, and there are 2 data sets that I now can select to add to ArcMap. Okay, the one data set is for courts, and it's a point data set. The other one is for the provinces of South Africa, and it's a polygon. So you can either click on it and say add. If you want to add more than one, just hold your control key and click the other one as well, or just drag and select all the shapefiles that you would like to add and click on add. It now gives me a message saying unknown spatial reference. The following data sources you added are missing spatial reference information. This data can be drawn in ArcMap but not projected. Okay, so we'll get into the detail of that just now. For now, I just say OK, take note of this warning and say OK. And now I can see data displayed in my display window. Very important. Never try to add data by going here to file open. Okay, that's usually a mistake that students make. It's not going to work. I'm going to show you. I'm going to click on open. I'm going to navigate to that folder again. That same tutorial data folder, and what you're going to find is you won't be able to see anything at all. Alright, okay, so that data can't be accessed in this way. So please do not make use of the file open route. That's for something else. That's for saving the map document that you're working with. The map document is like we can think of it like a Word document, and inside the Word document you've got text and figures. Now this data, this is the text and figures, but if you want to save the Word document, we go here. So this is where you save your project, but adding the actual data that you want to work with, you click on the add data button. So very important. So practice that. Probably maybe pause the video now and open your own ArcMap software and add some data. Okay, so now I want to demonstrate just some of the basic functions. So for instance, the zoom in, if I click on it, I left click and I drag, you'll see it creates a window like that, and that's just where you want to zoom into, and you release and it zooms in. Or you can just click and it will also zoom in. Zoom out works exactly the same way to zoom out. And let's say you've zoomed out very far and you've lost your data. Oh, it's there but nothing is displaying. Then you can click on the full full extent, sorry. If you click on that, it automatically takes you to the full extent zoom for all the data in your table of contents. Another one is the pan tool. If you click on that, this little hand icon, left click and hold, and then you can move your data around on your map. Okay, so again, maybe pause the video and quickly practice this on your own software. There are also other buttons that you can explore, fixed zoom in and fixed zoom out. You can read the explanation for each of them there, and you can see if you click on that, it's just a way to, without clicking on the data display, to zoom in and to zoom out on your data. And then there's also this back and forward option. So let's say I zoom into that area there, but I want to go back to my previous zoom. I can click there and it just takes me back to the previous extent. Then finally, the one I mentioned earlier, identify. This one you can use to click on features, and it will give you the information for that feature. I clicked on that point there, and it tells me that is Kuruman, and it gives me all the information that's available for Kuruman for that point. So these are some of the basic features of ArcMap that you need to be able to use. So start playing around with them. And you can also switch between different views. I'm just showing you this because maybe there's a chance you accidentally click on one of these buttons and you don't know where you are. We're not going to use it yet, but for instance, there's a layout view. This is where you're going to create your maps. But to move back to your data view, you just click on that little icon there that says data view. So you can jump between these different views. Whenever you're exploring your data, you want to be in data view. It just makes it a bit easier. Then there's also different ways of listing the data in your table of contents. The one we're currently looking at is list by source. Here you can see it shows you the location where your data is stored. You can also use list by drawing order. And now we're just seeing the data. We're not seeing actually where it is stored. But what we can do in this view is we can decide what layer should be on top. So I can click on the chords, left click and hold it, and drag it below province new, and now you can see it disappeared. Okay, the reason it disappeared is because it's now drawn beneath the province layer. If I turn that off, I can see the chords again. Usually you want to ensure that your lines and your points are on top of the polygons for display purposes. So play around with that as well, moving these features around and turning them on and off